Hello. James, hello, 1 2 1 2 1 down. Yep. Arthur, you go.
1 2 1 2 testing 1 2
Yep.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
This is Steve's mic. 1 2 1 2. Good evening. The individual ones is just those ones there. So I've got them turned. I can turn the main down as well. Is one louder than the other?
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out. I want to make sure you don't like clap blow up.
Yeah.
That's the most important part. But
I usually find if I turn them down.
so show me where the individual knob is. Just for two.
So that's why then that's not.
And then where's the overall?
Overall is here.
So that's all the way up, is it?
That's on. I can go up or I can go.
Oh, that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So just go to maybe go to -6 for now.
Yep.
And then individual, we'll go from here.
We got a good operator here in James.
No, Ron. I've done it with him before.
Yeah.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
That's good. Good day, James. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, what a tremendous strike there.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
I've got a natural, powerful voice. I'm a singer. That's why.
He's a front man.
that.
You were doing it.
To Lakeside Stadium for the Australia Cup / Doherty Cup fixture between South Melbourne and St Albans, where the national round of 32 beckons for these two sides. South Melbourne for the first time in 3 years, and for St Albans the first time in 10 years, should they get the job done tonight in this cup tie. Steve Curtin with you, looking forward to bringing you all the action, and alongside me tonight it's my absolute pleasure to be joined by Arthur Akratides. Good evening, Arthur.
Good evening, Steve. Great to be here in this, not too bad. I thought it'd be a lot cooler, but it's a nice night for football here at the good old Lakeside Stadium. A few people have braved the evening to come and watch the game, and slowly building up in a very important clash for both sides. And as you said, if they get past this stage, they'll be going to the final 16 draw for the Australian Cup, and the semi-finals for the Doherty Cup.
As well, yeah, that's right. So that final 32, that draw will be on this time next week, Arthur, on 10 play. Looking forward to. It's always a highlight seeing who the different clubs from around Australia match up against from other clubs that they're not so familiar with from interstate. That's going to be fantastic. We've got to get through the 90 minutes here first to see who can get their name in the hat. Let's have a look at those starting lineups, shall we? Do you want to go through the South Melbourne starting lineup, because there's 4 changes to that team that won on Friday night against Manningham United Blues by 2-0.
Now we've got in goals Harvey Lopez, Jordan Lampard, Marko Jankovic, Jake Marshall, Max Mikola, Ross Archibald, Harrison Sawyer, Evan Morgan, Andy Brennan, Noel Bernado, and Mario Barcia. And how about those St Albans boys, Steve?
Yeah, that's right. St Albans come in with 6 changes to their team that went down. They've only had a short turnaround since they played at Churchill Reserve, going down to Melbourne Knights 2-1 on Sunday. So we see Marko Bulic continuing in goal. Jacob Silverrain switches across to right back after starting at left back on Sunday. Michael Gergic in central defence, the goal scorer from the weekend, is joined by Chris Dibb, who makes a return to the starting 11 for the first time in a long time. Joey Monick comes back in at left back. Luke Cabrayo, who has an Australia Cup goal to his name this season, comes into midfield alongside Joey Chalina. Also in the front 4 is Ivan Razumich, Alan Herres, Josh Diven and Scott Bakor coming into the team. There's no Brian Summerskill, who was subbed out injured in the first half last weekend, and a bunch of players who played in that game dropped to the bench, including James Riccobene, Nelson Shongo, Max King, Carter Ramsey, who scored the winner in St Albans' last cup tie when they did the business against their local rivals Green Gully, 1-0 in the Sunshine Avenue derby at Churchill Reserve. Also Nicholas Murray, the youngster from the Bendigo Amateur Soccer League, who's making waves, is on the bench as well, as Mikola sends in the long throw. This is where South Melbourne are so dangerous. We don't need to remind anyone in NPL Victoria of that, and this time the chance goes over the top from Andy Brennan. And good to see Andy getting a run in the starting 11 tonight, and of course he scored a nice goal on the weekend as well.
He scored a couple of nice goals this year. I remember doing a game here early on in the season and scored a scorcher. And look, it's a promising game for both sides, and you'd have to say the home side's probably favourites here, but it is cup football, as I said earlier to you this evening, Steve. Anything can happen. And funny thing is, I saw as South try and go forward and the flag's gone up, I saw St Albans struggle against a State League 5 team in the cup before they played Green Gully, and they'd only won the game 3-1. And I tell you what, it was a great game by the 5th Division team, East Bentley, to really push St Albans back then. And obviously they've improved since those days, and they've changed their coaching setup also. And no doubt are going to try and give South Melbourne a game here.
Absolutely right. Our man in the middle tonight is Puya Gadirian, one of the top-notch officials in Victorian football, and it's actually good, Arthur, to see St Albans wearing these yellow tops, because last time I saw them in their away strips, they were wearing their tops were the same colour as those shorts and socks, and the numbers on the back weren't too different a colour either, and we would have no chance of being able to ID the players, apart from maybe the likes of Michael Gergic from this far away, given that we are seated in the Eastern Grandstand here at Lakeside Stadium. But it's a pleasure to be bringing you all the action tonight on the Football Victoria Facebook page, and we might even be live on Facebook as well. I know that stream encountered some problems in the last round of the competition when I was out at Paisley Park, but if you wanted to pass us your comments through and the Facebook stream is still up, please feel free to drop them through, and we'll do our best to read them out over the course of the 90 minutes, or maybe even more here, as Ivan Razimic, who's lining up on the right-hand side tonight, is taking the throw, and it's going to be another throw for St Albans here. So top versus bottom, at least as the NPL Victoria League standings say, but it's been an opening for St Albans. Well, not quite as bright as their jerseys that they're wearing, but they haven't taken a backward step since the kickoff in the opening couple of minutes of this one. Almost 5 minutes on the clock here, and Bernado applying the pressure onto Joey Chalina there, the number 13. It's a good header by Lampard, another player who got a rest out of the starting 11 as Esteban Quintas really shuffling the pack. As Sawyer has his shot blocked, goes out onto that far side where we see Brennan in the long sleeves, tries his luck from distance, and it's past the post and across the pole vault map and out onto the athletics track. So the first shot in anger of the night, and it's off target from Andy Brennan.
It was a good, you could see that South Melbourne's trying to get an early ascendancy here and trying to get early shots on goals, just to maybe, you know, get that early goal and then sort of settle in and try and dictate play. And the wind is going down almost across the ground. It's
is it favouring the right of
maybe a tad, only because if you look at the flags, they're almost blowing into our faces.
Yeah.
But it's obviously swirling a bit more to the right, like you said. The southerly wind here. Ball played wide. Mikola. And the ball punched away. And the whistle's gone there. And
that was a quiet whistle. I didn't even hear it from here.
Bit surprising, but some good sportsmanship there.
Well, the players have appeared to have stopped, so just as well that was the case.
Yeah, like Sawyer's sitting there looking at the linesman, asking him why. And I've got to say, I'm a bit perplexed.
He was ready to pull the trigger, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So St Albans just trying to get the ball out of their own half at the moment as Bullich takes the resulting free kick. A wrestle going on the halfway line, and again St Albans can't get it over the middle of the pitch, and Sawyer nodding it down. Barcia, who was arriving. Brennan getting on the end of this ball again, but here's a chance for Scotty Backor. He's got himself a couple of goals in the cup competition so far this year. This is Chalina. He has Razumich to his right. He decides to go back to the skipper in Gergic. Joey Monek on the far side.
Bakor scoring a couple against East Bentley a few months back there. He scored a double that day.
Well, and also St Albans got that 6-1 win against Geelong Rangers, and unfortunately there's no score has been entered into Sports TG, so we don't know who scored the goals. So there's 6 goals up for the taking for these St Albans players in the cup competition that remain unclaimed, so perhaps someone could step forward and put those into the system for us so we know who scored them. But we'll give you the stats as we have them for the goal scorers for St Albans in the cup competition so far, and it looks like this free kick's going to be delivered in from Monek, playing it in. It's away by Sawyer, the centre forward getting back doing the defensive duties. Jivan trying his luck. Here's Razumich all the way back to Alan Jerez. Fast feed. He scored within 12 seconds last time these sides met. Ball across to Bakor is a decent one. He tries his luck on the volley and it skims the crossbar. Well, he couldn't have come any closer there. Scotty Bakor and Gergic on the follow-up, and it's over. Well, South Melbourne hanging on to this 0-0 scoreline, but the skin of their teeth there. Scotty Bakor couldn't have come closer to scoring, Arthur.
Yeah, it was, look, it was a bit of a cute angle. I'm not sure whether it would have gone in, but still, it's, you know, hit the top of the crossbar, gone to the far side of the ground, and in the end, we're lucky to get away with that, South Melbourne. And that's probably a shot across the bows, trying to tell South Melbourne, you're not going to have it all your way. As the ball cleared by Bullich. All the way back to him again. Struggled to get that away. And a bit of aerial ping pong now. Headed back by Jankovic. And again, this long ball seems to be the favoured method at the moment for South Melbourne as St Albans go forward. And well chested back to Harvey Lopez, who last time I commentated here made a double penalty save. And now South Melbourne has a chance. And good goalkeeping there by Bullock. And again, good sportsmanship.
Oh, it almost set up awkwardly for a moment there. Bullich looked like he was going to be favoured to get there initially, but it almost had enough backspin to bring Harrison Sawyer into the play. But Bullich, who's wearing a goalkeeper kit, sort of reminiscent of Fabien Barthez in France '98 with the black short sleeves and shorts. Could have been excused to go in the long sleeves tonight, Marco Bullich, but you're more equipped to talk about goalkeeper fashion than myself, Arthur.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, that's what I wear, a black shirt, number 23 on the back, and the long pants these days because a little bit cold in the evenings when we play.
Bring back the old school keepers in tracksuit pants like we used to see in the 90s and earlier. They were the good old days, the grey trousers. As we see St Albans asking a few questions of this South defence. It was Scotty Bakor's shot that come closest to breaking the deadlock when it skimmed off the crossbar. And the ball that came in from the far side, and the South defence, including the tall figure of Marko Jankovic, couldn't deal with it. Scotty Bakor bringing it down and firing it off the crossbar. Here he is, Bakor again, looking for options. He's got not much to his right, and eventually Razumich is the option, who's actually started as the right back tonight. I'm assuming he might start in the front four, but it looks like it's a 4-4-2 is the lineup tonight for Cam Watson's side. So Jacob Sorverain again playing as the left back, and Joey Monek, who's mainly fulfilled that left back role, looks like he's playing as a left flanker, a left midfielder.
And I'm just wondering whether the South is going to unleash one of the long throws, and it looks like they will. And they've just scored so many goals from this long throw. It just baffles me that teams still have trouble defending it. It really does.
It does. Do you think, Arthur, that it would be a tactic to just stick a St Albans player up on the touchline right in front of Mikula there to try and make it a little bit more difficult as he swings this one in on Blake Gergic, who flicks it? Well, it wasn't far off going under the crossbar there.
I don't know about that. I just think that the the goalkeepers need to be a little more sort of on their toes, I think, because I found that they either stay on their line or come too early, and that's where they get found out, because the ball spills to the 6-yard box there, and there's always someone from South Melbourne there to finish the ball off. Hence, that's what happened the other day against... who were they playing on the weekend? South Melbourne.
Mihajlo Marinkovic scoring his first senior goal in that exact set of circumstances. The ball comes in, and again there you can see Harrison Sawyer, his head flying higher than Marco Bulic's palms.
That's ultimately, that's a chance gone begging, really.
Could have made more of that again. A good delivery, so St Albans have managed to keep this 0-0 scoreline intact despite a few ominous set pieces. And when we talk about set pieces from South Melbourne, as we mentioned, it's all about the long throws. They're more dangerous than a corner kick at times. Here's Archibald playing it over the top. It's a header by Chris Dibb, and as we said, good to see him back playing football and back in the starting 11. Here's Joey Monek, who's enjoying playing a little bit further up the field, and he gets the ball out wide to Scotty Bakor, who's got a bit of a problem with his foot. He looks like he's going to be okay. Well, he's a bit proppy, actually, Scotty Bakor. St Albans still in possession. Here's Dibb again. St Albans in the bright yellow shirts. The first time I've seen them out in action.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the other day when the last game I did with St Albans, they were wearing that silver strip, and I had an absolute nightmare trying to figure out the numbers. And like you said, and this is probably a blessing in disguise that they're wearing the yellow strip, and we can make out exactly what numbers they're playing as Kalina goes all the way back again. Chance to try and manufacture something forward. And a chance now. Ball gone wide and well mopped up there by that man again in Marshall.
Yeah, good play by Marshall. Divin was bearing down again.
Will St Albans give them a little bit of their own medicine?
What can Razumich offer up here? He's probably similar height, similar stature to Mikola. It's going to be in by Alan Harris. The wind gets a hold of it, and it's away by Andy Brennan, only as far as Chelina. St Albans recycling possession through Chris Dibb, who received it from Jacob Sauverain. Well, both of these teams, Arthur, are sides that, well, I mean, South Melbourne probably has played with the ball a bit more after some of the criticism that they face for playing, not wanting the ball, hating the ball almost, but two teams that have probably played a lot of minutes without the ball this year as well, particularly St Albans. How do you see that playing out?
No, but the funny thing is, there was the chance now for South to try and go forward, that defended well by St Albans. Look, they both can play the ball on the deck and play it well, but just sometimes it just seems like they seem to get more value out of their long balls because they've got the players to, to try and finish off. But both these teams can play the ball and when allowed. And you can see now St Albans have done quite well to try and manufacture something out of this game. And the longer the game goes without a score, Steve, the tougher it's going to be for the home side.
That's right. If St Albans can get to half-time with the scoreline still level, it's a little bit physical out there, though, as we just pause from that particular conversation. We've got a St Albans player down over on the far touch line. Just trying to piece together who the player is. Catch that on our replay screen as Archibald played the ball up the line. I think it was Jacob Sauverain who received a little bit of attention from behind. Didn't look anything too serious on the surface, but from this distance it is hard to tell. He might have copped one in the back of the Achilles there, Arthur, so not good news for St Albans. Now look at the options they have available on the bench. Nelson Shongo, who's natural at fullback. Also young Nicholas Murray, Carter Ramsey, so a good couple of attacking options. Max King.
Riccobeni.
And James Riccobeni in defence. So it's a very balanced bench actually tonight for Cam Watson, especially if you consider the the lanky limbs of Jasko Kranovic, should they need to opt for a taller keeper, should anything happen to Marko Bulic during this one. Bulic has been a revelation in goal, keeping Kranovic out of it. But yeah, they've got all positions covered. A central defender, Max King, a central midfielder as well. Looking at the St Albans subs, young Lucas Inglesi, I say young, he's 23 years of age now. Zach Spiteri, Emil Perios, Cooper Halfpenny, the sub-keeper Will Leune, and Mac Hilson, the 19-year-old who got his first start against Manningham United Blues on the weekend alongside Mihailo Marinkovic and Zach Spiteri. As this ball's played into the box, Bakor was the target and it was cleared away by that South Melbourne defence, and it's Bernado. Archibald, no nonsense from him, he gets it up towards Sawyer. The first touch was a bit heavier than he hoped. Sliding in was Cabrera, Luca Cabrera, the player who's started in central midfield, who does have an Australia Cup goal to his name this season, despite only having one appearance in NPL Victoria, the weekend competition. Here's Barcia switching the play out to Lampard, and it's a good first touch from him. South Melbourne just look like they patiently want to recycle possession.
Yeah, they need to start using Bernado more on that left-hand side. And you can see that now they play the ball forward. Chance for him to get into the box. Good ball in. Cut out nicely there. There's chance now for St Albans to go forward.
Here's Alan Jerez. He has his attempted through ball blocked. He was trying to play Josh Diven in down the line, but Jordan Lampard was onto the danger. Jordan Lampard, he's got a bit of a new look since he made the move from Gully to South Melbourne. A bit of a party at the back, almost a bit of a mullet, not quite. But it's certainly serving him well. He's had a great season since coming across at left back, and he scored a cracker of a goal in the last cup game as well. At, in front of the South Melbourne end at BT Connor Reserve against Preston Lions in that game, with nearly 6,500 people there to take it all in, as Brennan, operating down the right-hand side, just hangs up the cross. Sawyer's the target. He wins the header. Dib with a partial clearance, only as far as Noel Bernado, who puts it back into the danger zone. Oh, it almost bounced awkwardly for Monek, who managed to keep his outstretched arm away from the ball. And here's Scott Bakor. Barcia read the bounce better initially, but Bakor picked his pocket, and he's got an option to his left should he choose to use him. He's going to go through the middle. Oh, good challenge, Barcia, getting back to slide in.
Kalina now trying to find a way. Passes wide. And, good defending in the end.
I like what I've seen from St Albans so far tonight, Arthur. They've got nothing to lose, unlike the pressure of the potential relegation in NPL Victoria. They don't seem too phased. There's nothing to lose tonight, and they're taking it right up to the league leaders. You wouldn't think at the moment, at least, that this was first versus last in the NPL Victoria, playing off here in the Australia Cup.
And no doubt they played recently as well. A few weeks back, South Melbourne and St Albans at St Albans there, where South Melbourne come up victors.
They did. It wasn't without St Albans giving a good account of themselves. We mentioned it was an early goal from Alan Jerez after only 12 seconds, 14 seconds, something like that from memory. Most of the crowd hadn't taken their seats yet. We've had to wait a bit longer for a goal tonight, and that's just past the post. Well, not far away at all. So St Albans again, not afraid to pull the trigger from that spot just around the edge of the area. And was that Diven who wasn't far off there?
And Lopez really had to stretch for that. And tell you what, that wasn't far at all. It was a great effort. And shot across the bows there as Dib tries to close down. Lampard goes all the way back. Marshall changes play. And chance now. They're pushing away, and the ball still in play. Take your hats off to St Albans there. They're certainly looking a completely different side to the one that I've witnessed this year. I'd have to say they're one of probably their best performances to date of the games that I've done. And there's a bit of an injury there to, not too sure whether it's Grigic.
I'm thinking it's Joey Chelina is
Chelina?
the player who's down.
Yes, I think it might have ricocheted.
Oh, yeah.
Did it hit him in
He
the...
copped that one below the belt, I think, Arthur.
in the crown jewels? Hopefully he'll be fine.
Well, that's all it appeared to be. Nothing more serious than that. As serious as that is, of course. But he's just going to take his time. I think that's smart, just to take your time and just take the sting out of the game a little bit here midway through the first half. We've gone almost 23 minutes at Lakeside Stadium. Still 0-0. Both sides coming close to making the goalkeepers work. But Scotty Backhall's shot off the crossbar was as close as we've come. St Albans hitting the woodwork. So Joey Chelina just having to take a moment on the sidelines before he's reintroduced back into play, and we'll get the ball going with the drop ball. And here's Jordan Lampard with the socks up over the knees. Only Max Mikler is the only player out there with the gloves on, I think. I'm not sure if that's a tactic for warmth. I guess if he's a Queenslander originally, that would make sense, but it might also even help with some of the grip on the ball for the long throws as well. Yes,
they are not used to the Melbourne chilly winter weather.
There's plenty of a Queensland influence in this team. Both the central defenders have had their time playing in the Queensland competition.
It's funny, you know, because we are close to the bay here as the ball gets played long. Sawyer, the big freight train, going down there to try and win that ball, but mopped up nicely. Again, St Albans trying to find a way through. Cleared away. Morgan was trying to get the ball. And a chance now, and will be funnily up, headed back into play. I thought he was going to go all the way to the keeper there, but decided against it and might have worked the opposite way. Guerres. Chance now. The shot cleared away. No real direction in that shot. And Steve, I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with the way they've attacked this game.
Oh, good build-up by St Albans down the right there. Noel Bernado was getting back to try and put a bit of defensive pressure on. He couldn't clear the ball, and it opened the door for that combination of Bakor and Alan Harris to combine, and the ball into the box wasn't a bad one either. There just wasn't a yellow shirt who was able to get onto it and get a clean bit of purchase on it and test out Harvey Lopez. But again, this is an impressive performance by St Albans and really keeping South Melbourne honest. The next 10 minutes or so will be key, because we often see South Melbourne grabbing that first goal of the contest midway through the first 45, and then once they score that first goal, they're very hard to play against once they've got that 1-0 buffer.
Let's not forget they've only lost one game this year against Avondale, and they're very, very hard to break down, no doubt.
That's right. Well, you look at the stats, and they both have played 17 in the league, and South Melbourne winning 14, St Albans have lost 14, so there really are polar opposites, the form guides, going into this game. But that's the beauty of cup football, as Bernado gets to the byline, trying to get around Razumich, who initially looked beaten but recovered well, and he's able to block that shot behind into the hammer throw net. So it'll be a corner kick here for South Melbourne. It looks like it's going to be Andy Brennan grabbing the ball off the ball kids to go and take this one as the tall timber comes forward, and South Melbourne always look ominous in these moments with Marshall and Yankovic and Archibald, as well as Sawyer, four very tall targets to try and match up against for a St Albans side that's not overly blessed with height. We've also got Barcia outside the box, as you pointed out, Arthur, and could that be a set piece that we're about to see? No one's on Mario Barcia. In it comes, it's fired in towards the goal line, and it does fall for Barcia, and it's just wide. Well, no one picked him up, Arthur. You pointed it out from here, and St Albans, who've been so good, well, they were nearly writing their own Australia Cup obituary there.
Well, you see, it was quite obvious they're trying to curl that ball in, and you see they're in front of the keeper there to make it hard for him to punch away. The ball gets punched into that area, and really that was a free shot on goal, which really you can ill afford to have in a cup game, because there's no turning back from losing today for one of these sides. As South Melbourne again tries to build up play, and still battled it out, gone wide, and the throw into South Melbourne.
So South with the throw, right in front of Esteban Quintas. It just looks a bit toey in the technical area. The national round of 32 is something that South Melbourne's placed a huge priority on. And here's Sawyer trying his luck from distance with the side foot, but it was an easy regulation take for Marco Bulic, who picked that one up off the grass. St Albans coming forward through Razumich. Looking for Jerez. Those two combining well down the right-hand side, but again, Jordan Lampard is equal to the threat.
Chance now to go forward by Lampard. Nice long throw to Sawyer. And a chance now, Mikola trying to get in front of his man. And good defending in the end. Cleared away. Dib did really well to shield away there. Again, trying to switch play now. Jankovic gets the ball back. Trying to build it up now. He's coming in deep to get the ball was Abasia. And there he is again. Trying to drag some players with him and open up that far side of the ground. Delivery wasn't great, hence the clearance there for a throw-in.
Like that for Chris Dibb, back in the team, and already is trying to put the ball out over the top of the grandstand and into the car park out there on the clubroom side of the venue, as Gergic tries to nod that one in his path, presumably to try and clear it up the line. He ran out of room. I suppose that's something that St Albans can take some solace from tonight, is the fact that they are playing on a pitch that's probably similar in proportion to their own patch at Churchill Reserve, fairly narrow and not the longest either, so it's certainly not like a trip to go and play out at Hume City or Knight Stadium, for instance, as they have to face the long throw here. So concentration required for St Albans. It's allowed to bounce in the 6-yard box. Well, it doesn't get much more dangerous than that. And Arthur, you shake your head, and I think that's fair enough, by the way. South Melbourne played that ball in, and St Albans really didn't deal with it too well.
It just bounced in the 6-yard box, and, you know, just tentative, being tentative in order to attack that ball is always going to make you come undone. And just... they're riding their luck. You just sense that if they don't deal with the next one I think might be in the back of the net.
That's right. Well, we'll just take a moment to go around the grounds tonight. The other game in the Victorian section of the qualifying, Hume City against Caroline Springs George Cross out at Broadmeadows. It's Hume who've taken a 1-0 lead on 17 minutes, so they lead that fixture 1-0 halfway through the first 45. So we've certainly got the closer one here, Arthur, so stick with us. If you're tuning in at home on the Football Victoria live stream, Steve Curtin and Arthur Akrotidis bringing you the action. The ball's gone out of play here, and Puya Guderian has noticed that the flag has gone up from his assistant referee here on the near side. So it'll be a throw going the way of the visitors.
As if we go forward again. They're now defending the wide left-hand side now. They're getting boxed in a little more here, St Albans, and they're finding it hard to break through. But they do so on this right-hand side now. 3-on-3. And again, Lampard does well defending there. And that was a fair challenge in the end. Screams and shouts there, but no doubt in my mind that was a fair challenge. And Lampard back to Marshall.
Yeah, he's been solid. I've said it a couple of times, been very solid so far. As Jordan Lampard, here he is on the ball again. He's going to look to get the ball going down the line here. Sawyer is the target who's been making those runs into the channels. The foot race between the two big men, and Gergic went to ground. There's no foul here, so Sawyer's in behind the defence. Over the back post is Brennan with the header. Mikula with the flick. Oh, and it's away off the line by Jacob Silverrain, who clears the ball away. So the left back getting in to block the chance. South Melbourne looking dangerous. Here's Bernado. Gets it all the way to the byline. It's still in play. Silverrain trying to make the clearance. Not sure if he got a touch on it. Here's Andy Brennan. He's been dangerous so far. Morgan Evans on the far side. Brennan with space to supply the cross here. He puts it into the near post. It's away at the near post by Silverrain. And again, Silverrain makes the clearance up the line. But South Melbourne have really got a lot of the ascendancy in the last few minutes. Got another score around the ground. Arthur down at the Grange Reserve. It looks like it's 0-0 between Kingston and Melbourne Serbia. Free kick's going to go the way here of St Albans, and they might need to just take a breather here and try and control the tempo, because South have really been putting him through the ringer in the last couple of minutes. Hello to Ash, who's been tuning in. He says South Melbourne looks solid. Ash is also the drummer of a band called Hooper Crescent. Speaking of music, Arthur, have you got any projects in the pipeline for the rest of 2024?
Yeah, well, as you know, we re-released our debut album from '97. We remixed and remastered it and re-released it, and some great success with that, along with the second album we released the year before. So the third one's in the works at the moment.
Excellent. We'll be looking out for that. I'm hoping there's a big album launch to come when that one comes out, Arthur.
No worries.
We'll make sure we get all of our football family to turn up and enjoy that one, as St Albans are trying to get themselves the right backing track to an opening goal here, as Alan Jerez combining with Backor. Still he goes into the box. Good challenge by Mario Barcia, and he copped one for his troubles as well. And will we see the first card of the evening here, or will it just be a free kick going the way of South Melbourne? It is the first card coming out, shown by referee Puyi Gadirian, and Mario Barcia is going to have the trainers coming out to attend to him here, so this will be another delay. So we'll have a little bit of time added on at the end of this first 45, of which there is just over 10 minutes to go, and it's still 0-0 here at Lakeside Stadium.
I think it was a bit unlucky there. I think it wasn't intentional, and even though the cards come out, probably unlucky to get a card there.
I think it was just the exuberance with the opportunity that it was. If he could win that ball, he might have been in with the chance to open the scoring.
And you'd have to say that I think the referee's had a good game up until now.
One of the nice guys of Victorian football, if that's possible for a referee, Puyi Gadirian, who's looking after things out there in the middle tonight.
Lopez now ready to go long. Thumping ball to Sawyer, who doesn't get the header, but they do see the ball out for a throw. Lampard. South Melbourne getting a little more fluency in their play now. And that man has been a big difference in that. The ball headed away. And still not out of danger. And like a bit of a pinball there to clear away. And here we go. The danger throw in again. And
they were right in their luck there, weren't they?
Let's just see how this goes. And I just sense that they really need to deal with this better than they have. Long throw. Whopping throw at that. The keeper's come, and he's not gotten the ball. Claims for handball. The shot all the way to Buick. And screams and shouts there, but I think it was fair enough. Steve, no real
a nervy moment again for St Albans defending the long throw from Max Mikula, but they dealt with that one, well, will we say marginally better than the previous? Well, still not super convincing, but
the goalkeeper did come out for that one, which was much more positive, but the only thing was his clearance wasn't the greatest.
That's right. Well, we've got some more news from around the grounds, Arthur. We saw it was 0-0 a short time ago down at the Grange. Melbourne Serbia have taken the lead 1-0 against Kingston City, so perhaps a big upset to come there if Melbourne Serbia can make it through to get a spot in the national round of the competition.
That's a very big result at the moment. And chance to go forward again, but no real issue there to try and clear the ball. Kalina. Ball played central. Wide again. Trying to chisel their way forward here. A lot of men back South Melbourne now. And there's that man again, Marshall. He's been absolutely brilliant.
There's no getting around Jake Marshall.
Actually, that was Jankovic.
Marko Jankovic, should I say? He's a tower of strength, is Marko Jankovic.
He scored a few goals himself.
Well, you look at the South Melbourne team, and so many of them have got themselves on the score sheet this season, regardless of where they play on the pitch, including like the likes of Jordan Lampard at left back, both the central defenders, of course. A couple of goals each, 2 for Jankovic in the league and 1 in the cup in the league for Jake Marshall as well. So you're playing this ball forward. It's going to run harmlessly through to Marko Bulic, so he's able to claim that one. Well, Max Mikula was closing. He has good closing speed, does Max Mikula, but not quite that quick as the ball is distributed out to Chris Dibb back in the starting 11 today for the first time for a long time. He had to play kit man briefly on the weekend when there was a sub in the window for Cam Watson when Brian Summerskill went down injured in the first half, and I can't remember who it was. One of the St Albans players didn't have their shirt on, and Chris Dibb was sent to the change rooms to go and fetch it for him.
Well, that's
not the ideal scenario you want when you've already had a player going down injured. It
just baffles me sometimes. Some players, they're no shin guards on, or you know, they've got a bracelet on which they should have taken off at the start of the game. I get very, very distressed when I see that when I'm with my team sitting on the bench and trying to see how some of our players end up playing the innocent victim, even though they are at fault. Trying to go forward now, South Melbourne. And a chance now. And again, Bernado looking very dangerous. Just reaching for the ball there. Lampard trying to first time cross, but really not being able to get through that stone wall of St Albans. It's just relentless at the moment, and they're doing quite well to keep him out. Steve, I think basically everything's running to plan as far as I'm concerned for St Albans, because they really haven't put too much, you know, they haven't put a foot wrong other than 1 or 2 challenges in that box.
Yeah, I think Cam Watson's tactics have gone exactly to plan. He's come here, he's come with a plan. They've played with a system that's allowed them to make the most out of what they've got available to them in the squad. Plenty of changes as well. As we said, 6 changes from the team that played only a couple of days back on Sunday. So the 4-4-2 system seemed to be doing the trick, as Chris Dibb, who's probably one of the players who could be a bit underdone, and we might have to see him subbed out in the second half. You fancy for James Riccobeni, but excellent to see Chris Dibb back playing and getting minutes. He's probably taking in the deep breaths at the moment after, as he gets back to clear that ball out for a South Melbourne corner here. But certainly St Albans have taken it right up to South so far, and they're looking very impressive in the first 45, but they need to hold out here until half-time, as this corner is about to be taken by Andy Brennan, and the Clarendon corner finding some voice for encouragement of the boys in blue, as this one's hooked in towards the penalty spot at the front post. It was originally the header from Marshall, and then Bernado at the back post, and it will be a corner from this near side this time, so a chance for Max Mikula to go and deliver the set piece this time. But St Albans, interestingly, Arthur, they're keeping 2 players up on the halfway line for these sorts of opportunities, so they're certainly not going all-out defence in this, which I think that's been a tactic tonight that served them well.
Yeah, no doubt, but if you have a look now, they're trying to make it difficult for the goalkeeper there. And claims of pushing and shoving, but still Mikola, curling ball in the box. Can they get a shot on goal? Clarge down, still there. Claims for a handball, and I'd have to say that did look like a handball to me, Steve.
We'll have to catch it one.
It might have been accidental though.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, looking back, it was probably an accidental one. And St Albans go forward early, and a chance now to catch South Melbourne out. Just reaching, and the delivery really letting him down there.
Well, Alan Harris did all the hard work making that ball and keeping it in play. The cross was
still
not
there.
His best effort.
We've got a far side now. Razmanik. Ball played forward again. And this is where they need to try and close them down. And close them down they did. Some good work there.
Yeah, well played by Gergic, who had to be there to block that through ball because Sawyer was making that run in behind, and he probably would have been onside as well had the ball managed to run through to him. So
he's been pretty solid, hasn't he, Steve?
He has been, yeah. He's been it's been a good duel, Gergic and Sawyer so far tonight, and it's probably about on as even as Monek getting on the ball here. Jerez playing in that central area. Out wide is Razumich. Mikola back doing some defensive duties and cleared high into the sky by Lampard. Sawyer was the target, and again that duel, Sawyer and Gergic, and eventually Alan Harris back to help out his captain and win the ball back, and Joey Cellini can stride over the halfway line. First time bounce pass was by Divin. He was looking for Cabrera, but he couldn't quite find him. Cellini winning the ball back. Harris has got no one in front of him, so he tries to switch the play out wide to Vakor, who's operating down that left-hand side for St Albans at the moment. Harris. Razumich is joining in, but Harris is going to try his luck from the distance, and it's over the bar. Perhaps not the best option by the Argentine. He is the only player out there on a yellow card as well. If you have just joined us, still 0-0, just the one yellow card shown to Alan Harris for a tackle on his countryman, Mario Barcia.
I'll tell you what, it was worth a try. I mean, there's definitely room in front of him there, but just a little off target. And he's another player that's done quite well. It is.
He always seems to get up for these games against South Melbourne.
And South trying to go forward, and a late challenge there. The referee has dished out a yellow card straight away there to Devin.
Josh
no
Devin
complaints
putting himself about. I'm not sure if there was the studs were showing was what was the reason why Poya Guderian reached for the notepad, and I'm not sure if there was any contact, but it was dangerous the way that he came in for the ball. So another good decision from Poya Guderian there. Josh Devin, the second player of the evening to go into the referee's notebook. This ball aimed out wide at Andy Brennan, and that's not his best effort, that cross.
I tell you what,
it's got some Bronx cheers from the South fans.
A bit wasted there. You know, he found the room on that right-hand side, but it just seemed like he just swung his foot without even thinking of cutting it right back. I think he had time.
It was a good ball down the outside by Harvey Lopez. Just that free kick straight out down the channel, and he tried to hit it on the half volley. So David Beckham was expert at those sort of crosses from memory, those ones that were just bouncing in front of him. But always harder than they look, though. So and that
playing
one was,
time added for stoppages, Steve.
So we got
three minutes.
So 1 minute of that already evaporated. Here's Divin. Space for Cabrera, who hasn't had much of a look in the NPL
Chance
Victoria.
now.
Monek's shot is saved by Harvey Lopez. Rebound falls kindly for Scotty Bakor. Back in again by Monek. It's going to land in the 6-yard box. Well, before doing so, it's taken expertly by Harvey Lopez, who is, if not the best in the business, very close to in goalkeeping in the NPL stocks anywhere in the country. Here's Mikola receiving from Sawyer. Looking to get at Razumich. Still he goes. Mikla looks to glide past his man, but Razumich stands him up. Blocks it out for a throw, so another chance for one more long throw before the break here, Arthur, and St Albans do not want to concede here.
Again, he'll concede. He'll want to concede here, no doubt, because they can ill afford to go in at half-time 1-0. They've done all the hard work. Thumping throw again. The goalkeeper stayed this time. The ball's bounced in the box again. And luckily cleared away, but only as far as that running track side. Yeah, chance again. Let's see what happens this time.
This is almost the more dangerous angle, do you think, as well, Arthur?
Yeah, whip it in. Again, and a header. And again, I'm just... Chance again. The shot way over the bar.
Well, we've seen some pretty ordinary attempts on goal tonight from distance, Arthur, and that one from Mario Barcia. Again, not his best effort. I just don't think they're getting the best out of their throws at the moment, South Melbourne. I mean, it seems like the ball's spilling in areas where very dangerous, but they don't seem to be following through like they normally do. It's almost like Mikla needs to take a couple of yards off his distance and get that landing at the front post area and get the flick on. They're landing right in the goal mouth, and St Albans have been able to somehow get enough players back to deal with them. Despite on those last two attempts as well from South, St Albans kept two players up on the halfway line for the counter-attack, and maybe that is even playing into the minds of the South Melbourne players that they don't want to get caught out on the break, but that is half-time. Was a match that we thought was going to be dominated by the boys in blue, South Melbourne, but they've been kept scoreless in the first 45 by one of the teams who's had trouble scoring goals themselves, but conceded plenty. But St Albans tonight, they've made some good opportunities for themselves and kept South Melbourne out at half-time. 0-0, Arthur. What do you make of that first 45?
Look, you've got to take your hat off to St Albans. They've done some very good work in attack and in defence. And as the stats are brought up, you can see that they've had 6 shots on goal, 1 on target, but that one hit the bar. And I tell you what, looking back at it, it might have even dipped in with a bit of luck, but it didn't. And South Melbourne have had some half chances, but you'd have to say at the moment 0-0 is a fair reflection of the way things are.
Yeah, definitely agree, Arthur. Well, we'll be back for the second 45 after this short break. And just quickly around the grounds at the other games, it is Hume City 2, Caroline Springs, George Cross 0 at halftime at Broadmeadows, and at the Grange down in Melbourne's southern suburbs, Kingston City 0, Melbourne Serbia 1. It's 0-0 here. We're looking forward to your company after this short break for the second 45. Both Arthur Akratides and myself, Steve Curtin, to see who goes through to the national round of 32 in the Australia Cup for 2024 out of South Melbourne and St Albans.
Just about to start off this second half here at Lakeside Oval. And the score here is 0-0 with eventful first half. Battle throughout. In the end, no one really taking the ascendancy. The best chance going to St Albans. And Steve, what's your thoughts on this second half?
Yes, well, it was a patient wait in the halftime break for the stadium DJ to fade out that Craig David song, but it's interesting to see on this Wednesday evening what these sides have got up their sleeves. St Albans, they've surprised everyone tonight. The guys sitting on the bottom of NPL Victoria have handed it to, or served it right up to at least, the team who sits atop of the league with, as you mentioned in the first half, just the one defeat all season. So South Melbourne, as we know, they've placed a high value on making this national round of 32 as a real statement piece ahead of that national second division to come in next year, Arthur, and we've seen them rest players and rotate their squad and really put a focus on this, and we saw that in their NPL Victoria fixture on the weekend as Mikola sends in the big rainmaker into the box. It's away by Chris Dibb, well defended by St Albans, flicked on by, it was eventually going through to Sawyer, and his shot was on target, but it was easily fielded by Marco Bullich. Didn't have the power that Sawyer might have been hoping for, or the placement, but the flick on by Yankovic was what did the damage and played it through to Sawyer and gave him the chance, which he was unable to snatch in the opening minute of the first, the first minute of the second 45.
Yeah, chance, really, a bit more power in that shot. Might have been a bit of trouble there for Bullock. And now St Albans trying to make an opening here. There's a free man outside the box. The shot! Great save there by Lopez.
Oh.
And in the end, very lucky to get away with that one.
Well, that was the best chance of the game, Arthur. Really good work by Josh Giffen down the right-hand side. He won that ball that, well, maybe some other players might have almost thought it was a lost cause, because it certainly favoured Jake Marshall, but Giffen won the ball, got around Marshall, and really good timing of the run by Scott Bakor, and the shot from Bakor was on target and saved by the feet of Harvey Lopez. He's got so many of those tentacles working, the arms and the legs, and a good bit of goalkeeping, but maybe Bakor would be ruining the fact that he couldn't put that a little bit closer to the corner and take it out of the equation of Harvey Lopez being able to save. But certainly that's the best look at goal we've seen. But here's Bernado over the top. It's Noel Bernado in the Argentine. What a fine finish. Noel Bernado, and South Melbourne find themselves straight after the chance for St Albans, punish them mercilessly, and South Melbourne have got 1 foot in the national round of 32, Arthur.
I'll tell you what, one chance on the other side of the ground, and all of a sudden, counter-attack and the lob over the top, and Bullock had no chance at all. And in the end, Bernado has been threatening, especially in that first half, and, you know, that's just reward for his hard work, really. And I'll tell you what, we've had a very good start to this second half, 3 minutes in, and 1-0 to the home side. And I'll tell you what, this could open the game up, Steve.
Well, he took that goal so well. It made it look like an easy finish, but it's not always that easy to try and volley that lob over the top on the laces, but he put it away so well. He never looked like missing, really, and it was almost, as soon as Harvey Lopez made the save at one end, you knew what was going to happen next, and that was that South Melbourne would score at the other end. And St Albans, who've done so well to keep them out in the set-piece opportunities, it's an open play goal, a genuine open play goal. It came down the left-hand side of the pitch for South Melbourne, and it was put away well by Bernado, who loves scoring against South Melbourne. He scored a double when they met in the league a few weeks ago at Churchill Reserve, and he's got himself onto the score sheet here. He's having a fantastic season as well, Noel Bernado, as we await the long throw by Mikola. St Albans need to clear this one away. Sawyer was the target. It's partially cleared, only as far as Andy Brennan, who wheels around and plays it back in towards the penalty spot. Away by, that was Cholina. And charging forward now is Scott Bakor, the man who spurned that chance Only moments before South Melbourne opened the scoring. He's headed for the corner flag here. Looking for allies. He tries to get around Lampard, but he's run himself out of grass and gone out of play, Arthur.
And the thing is, he had Headers there on his own on the far side. Had he played the ball early, he might have really put South Melbourne in a bit of bother. And the same thing happened early on. If you see that shot that Lopez saved, behind the initial shot, there was another player, which I think was Monek, had a better angle on goal, and had the ball gone to him, it could have been 1-0 to St Albans. But no, South Melbourne, that man, Bernado, has broken the deadlock. And as South Melbourne now have a bit of wind up their wings and looking to push the ascendancy here. This a chance now to open up far sides, all three. There's 5 men in the box. And holding up play, he's got Sawyer out in the edge of the box. Deep ball in, the shot, and easily mopped up there by Bullich. And is this a sign of things to come, Steve?
Yeah, Bernado looks like he's in the mood here, like he's scored his 3rd goal of the Australia Cup competition tonight, as we said, 2 goals in his last match against St Albans, 10 in the league, so that puts him up to 13 in all competitions so far this season. Certainly enjoying his football. Just going back to watch that goal again. It was Jordan Lampard, of all people. We've talked about him playing quite direct when he gets in possession. It was his ball through that was not dealt with by the St Albans defence. A header that ricocheted off one of the St Albans players and fell to Bernado, who took just that touch and over the top of Marco Bullich. So St Albans have got to keep doing what they've been doing, though. Be willing to risk going further behind as Bernado goes to ground, and sportsmanship from Chris Dibb, who goes over to check on the Argentine.
He got up pretty quickly, though.
He certainly did.
And a bit of showboating there, I thought.
Here's Dibb looking to play forward. Divins the target. His first touch lets him down. It's out of play. In fact, it had been adjudged to... No, it was off Divins. So South Melbourne with the throw, and Marshall receiving from Evans, and all the way back to Harvey Lopez, who's put in another great performance to deny that one-on-one chance. Just the mere sight of Harvey Lopez in front of you in a one-on-one chance must be put the fear of God in a lot of strikers in the NPL Victoria competition, or this case cup football, because he just has a way of really psyching out their striker when they've got a lot of goal to aim at and making it into a situation that he can get his body behind the ball, as Archibald getting forward and then looking to play back.
I'm quite amazed that, to be honest with you, that he hasn't been picked up by an A-League team, because he is that kind of quality. He's been outstanding the last 3 seasons here.
That's right, he's been so good for so long, and since coming across from the Bentley Greens, well, he's only just got better, hasn't he, you fancy?
And he's not the tallest goalkeeper, but I tell you what,
no.
What he lacks in height, he definitely gives you in absolute sheer ability in closing angles down and being there when needed. And that save could be the difference between both sides in the end. Ball in the box, the header, and not much on it in the end.
Oh, Bernado, another chance falling to him. Good work from Mikula and Lampard down that left-hand side again. They're doing very well down that left flank, trying to cause overloads against Ivan Razimic, who's not really a recognised right back, but that's where he's lining up again. It's not the first time he's done that job this season, and we're going to see a change. And as we predicted, Chris Dibb is one of those players. He's got some good match minutes in the starting 11 tonight after coming back from injury. That will be the end of proceedings for him. And the other player coming off is Joey Chelina in central midfield. So a like for like, with Joey Chelina being replaced by Max King, who Max King started on the weekend. And just trying to see what's...
Chance now to go forward for St Albans. I think...
Has St Albans gone to 3 at the back, Arthur, perhaps? Here?
Yes, they have. Chance now for South. The shot straight into the arms of Bulich.
Good take by the young keeper. Fires this one out towards Joey Monek in the long sleeves.
They can, and what they need to do here, Steve, is not fall in a heap, because they've done so well for such a long time. They don't want to allow South Melbourne to completely grab a hold of this game, because they will run over the top of them if they allow that.
That's right. We often see that after teams do make a couple of subs and roll the dice. It's only moments before the other team bags another goal, and it looks like it's Nicholas Maury, the youngster from Shepparton South, the young boy who dominated the Bending Amateur Soccer League last season, who's come on. So taking off a central defender for an attacker. So it's a bold move from Cam Watson. I don't mind that he's having a go here. There's nothing to lose. There's no tomorrows in this cup competition, as the drums start to pound on that far side, and Mikola's throw comes into the box. It's flicked on at the near post. It's there for someone if they wanted to take the opportunity, but it's Joey Monek who snatches the ball. He's got Alan Jerez in front of him. He keeps it in play. Challenge by his countryman Bernado, and it's going to be a St Albans throw up near the halfway line. Well, it's going to be Monek to take the throw. So Jacob Silverrain, who started at left back, has now gone into central defence as part of that reshuffle.
And you'd have to say he's playing 3 at the back. He's got no choice, really, because with
shoves Razumich to the ground here, Arthur.
Oh, tell you what.
I don't think we'll see any expulsions for this, but it was a little bit of hostilities over there between the two technical areas.
What doesn't that surprise me?
If you did a heat map of on-pitch blow-ups, there's always a high proportion in that part of the field.
Chance now to... That looks like St Albans are trying to force their way through, and they get the free kick, and they take it quickly because they know desperate times now. Monek goes down and cleared away by Marshall for a throw.
Well, they haven't scored tonight, St Albans, and just the 17 goals scored this season and a 43 against. But I tell you what, if you were tuning in tonight and you didn't know the league table, you wouldn't think St Albans were the bottom side in the competition the way that they've gone about it tonight. And there's still some more promise in them tonight to try and turn this result around your fancy, as Monek's throw was to Cabrera. Monek gets in a decent cross to the back post area. Here's Nicholas Maury bringing it down. His first touch is good enough. Back to Razumich. And Max King slipped over on the turf, so the substitutes unable to combine there to any kind of damaging effect, and it could be damage going the other way here, as Brennan's going to pick up the ball. In fact, it's Archibald, and it didn't fall kindly for him, and the pass from Sawyer, and the move broke down, and now end-to-end stuff here as Silverrain sends the ball forward to Scott Bakor, who tries to control it past Morgan Evans, who did really well there, the right back Morgan Evans. Now Barcia striding forward is Marshall, up to the feet of Bernado, one back by King. Ball forward by Diven, it's turned over. In fact, it was Maury. There's a shirt pull there from Cabrera. Play on is the call. Advantage played, and good decision by Puya Gadiri. And here's Mikola trying to get at Razumich. Overlap comes from... Whoa, look at the overhead kick from Bernado. The overlap, the cross came from Jordan Lampard. A couple of former Green Gully teammates combining there, and what a goal that would have been to make it 2-0, Arthur, for what would be Bernardo's second of the evening. He's definitely got an eye for a second goal tonight.
It was a good ball by Brennan to switch play there as well. And that's what they need to do to try and open up this three-man defence of St Albans. But St Albans now trying to find a way through, and you sort of sense that Brennan has been almost staying back as a defensive midfielder rather than a right-sided midfielder to try and avoid any counter-attack. And here he is now, and the ball he gave was a little wayward.
Was it taken off his toe perhaps by the St Albans player maybe? Because I just don't believe that Brennan would fire a pass that loose.
It just, he hasn't really had much of the ball. So you think he's been trying to sort of defend a lot more today than he has been in the... But now they're opening up now. A chance for him right now. Can he find a way through? And trying to switch play again. Return ball. He's got a sea of St Albans players there, and he's done well to get the throw in. And that man, Mikola, no doubt will be coming again to whip that throw in. And he's going to be whipping it in against the wind, Steve, because the wind's blowing straight into his face. Might sit up well for the big unit in Sawyer. And we know what he can do in the air.
That's right. The 4 tall targets are in there. And as you say, this might just favour them. 1-0 is the scoreline at the moment as the ball's fizzed in. And it was Sawyer who did fly highest. Got his head to the ball, but not for the first time tonight. He's unable to send his attempts goal bound.
You'd have to think, you think this game will affect South Melbourne and St Albans for the weekend's games, because they're both big games for both sides.
Huge game. Well, we're looking forward to getting to Olympic Park on Sunday, Arthur, for that clash between those two proud clubs of the Greek footballing community in Victoria. Heidelberg hosting South Melbourne. That should be a huge crowd there on Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Especially that great new venue that they have now, and the pitch, and you know, it's such a great facility now, and it's only going to improve.
Just keeps on getting better. I heard that the new bird netting's gone in, so we won't be competing with the Indian miners in the as the sun goes down. That'll be good.
The only thing that we need now is to get a comfortable commentator's box to commentate in, because that certainly is the next best thing for us.
That would be ideal now. Carter Ramsey, who scored in the last cup tie that St Albans played in, that 1-0 win against Green Gully in the Sunshine Avenue derby. So a chance for him to be the hero here, Carter Ramsey. It's another player who's got the gloves on out there, and well, he's a smart man if you ask me. That's a player for each side out of the outfield players have got the gloves on now, along with Mikola. And here's Silverrain, who's done well since being repositioned to central defence midway through this, or in the early part of this second 45. As the throw's taken by Evans, Sawyer is the target. Silverrain put his foot up a little bit too high there, but got away with that one. Now Silverrain back in possession here. The former North Geelong Warrior sends it up the line to Carter Ramsey. In the long sleeves, he's going to win his side a throw here. So 1-0 the scoreline to South Melbourne, and it was the goal by Noel Bernado that separates these two sides in the opening minutes of this second 45, as these teams compete for a spot in the national round of 32. And could Sawyer make it comfortable here with a goal? And he's hit the outside of the post. He was buried down on Marco Bulich's goal there, Arthur, and it was a really good look again, but Sawyer just thwarted by the upright.
Yeah, maybe he should have tried to go across the goalkeeper there, but I think the angle that he hit it on just made it A little harder for him, but he's still got the shot on goal, and he did get the left hand upright. And as we were speaking, I think Brennan is the man coming off for South Melbourne.
Good shift from Andy Brennan.
And he did do a lot better in this second half on this far right-hand side. And
substitution for South Melbourne coming off, number 7, Andy Brennan, being replaced by number 16, Emil Pios.
Emil Pios coming on to replace him. The youngster.
Yeah, good chance for the youngster to get some minutes here in the cup competition. He's 21 years of age now.
He's had a couple of games this season. Has Emil Pios. And a famous number 16, Steve, for South Melbourne. One of my favourite players and gentleman of a bloke, George Campbell, used to wear that number back in the day when I was a kid.
One of your heroes growing up.
Oh, listen, he was phenomenal. Little Scotsman, champion bloke as well. Hello to George Campbell there if he's watching.
And for our younger audience, Arthur, what sort of player would you compare him to in the current era?
He was a left winger, and he just had immense pace, and he had a great left peg as well. And more importantly, he was a great boy, a great guy. And you know, us youngsters being in the youth team back then, he always used to give us great advice, and you know, always used to give us sound advice. And look, it was just a pleasure being around him all the time. And every time I see him, it's a pleasure to talk to him. He's always he's still around and still coaching around the traps.
Excellent. It's those sort of personalities in your club that really nurtures a good club culture, and some good memories there from Arthur Akratides. Arthur, along with myself, Steve Curtin, bringing you the action tonight. James behind the camera, giving you the best look at this throw that's about to come in from Max Mikula, and again St Albans being tested from the set-piece opportunity. The long throw from Mikula that is as good as a corner kick from the Queenslander as he prepares to send this one in.
Will this be the one that works?
You think it's only a matter of time as it comes in at the near post area. That's on by Archibald, and Bullich picks it up well. So the number 21 heading it to the goalkeeping number 21 for St Albans as he looks to play this one short to his captain in Gergic and his Silverine. Plenty of players behind the ball here for St Albans, for South, making it hard for the Saints to find a way through.
Closing down now, and they want to get it out of this area now. And this is what we call some good forward defensive work there, making it almost impossible for them to get the ball out, and some great work there. And how the game's changed. That's something that never happened in the past, Steve. And now those forward players, they can't just expect the defence and the midfield to close down. They're doing it themselves. And the game of 2024 requires that kind of commitment, or you'll see teams being dismantled if it hasn't been done.
Yeah, South winning the ball high up the pitch in that instance, and it's not something that we saw in the first half when St Albans really were on their game, but that goal that they conceded has really had to, well, force them to throw the cat amongst the pigeons. And well, they've made a few changes, and one of those players who's come on is Carter Ramsey here, combining with Diven, who was making the run from a deeper position. Barcia, the technician, able to come in and defuse the situation. It's Morgan Evans, the South Melbourne youth product, playing a hopeful ball through that Sawyer was, well, never going to be able to get on the end of. And now St Albans, they need to try and get the ball into the South Melbourne half, but it's been something they haven't been able to do for the last 10 minutes or so, Arthur, with the scoreline still locked here at 1-0 to the home side, South Melbourne. They've certainly got 1 foot in the national round of 32 for the first time since 2021, when they were beaten here at this very venue by Melbourne City in the national round of 32. Connor Metcalf on the score sheet in that particular fixture, and a couple of goals for Scott Galloway. Connor Metcalf putting in a good performance in Perth last night for the Socceroos in that match against Palestine. We've got some more goals coming in from around the ground, and the upset is on for in that Kingston and Melbourne Serbia match, Arthur.
Yes, 2-0 down now. And 71 minutes gone, and looks like Melbourne Serbia is heading for the national round of 32, as is Hume, who have really come good this season. They beat Port Melbourne on the weekend 3-0, and they're currently up 3-0 against the NPL State League 2 team, George Cross, as South Melbourne trying to weave their way through congested defence there. And again, winning the ball back is South Melbourne, toiling away. Chance to go forward. Trying to get the ball into the box. And good work, good defensive work. The header easily taken there by Bullich.
Well, I tell you what, Arthur, if Melbourne Serbia can hang on and make the national round of 32, there'll be some seriously big celebrations happening down there at the Grange after full time for them. But also big celebrations in Pascoe Vale. A big happy 30th birthday to Clint, who's tuning in tonight. We hope you're enjoying your evening and impressed by this fixture between South Melbourne and St Albans, and enjoy your celebrations over the weekend as St Albans trying to get themselves something to celebrate here, which would be a goal that would see them square the ledger. And they need it because time's running out with under 20 minutes to go of regular time. They've got themselves a corner kick here though, so a chance to get something going from the set piece, and we're going to see the introduction of Nelson Shongo into the action here for his opportunity to make an impression on this match. He started the match on the weekend, one of those 6 changes that Cam Watson made with him, one of those players who dropped to the bench.
Substitution for St Albans, coming off number 20, Josh Gibbon, being replaced by number 2, Nelson Chongo.
So Nelson Chongo trots out to take part in the action, and South Melbourne have got everyone back in their own penalty area to defend this set piece opportunity. We're going to see South Melbourne do something that, well, this is like never walking under a ladder or never let a black cat cross your path, Arthur. They're going to make a sub while they're defending a corner kick. So Nicola in no hurry to leave the pitch here.
South Melbourne, coming off number 22, Max Mikola, being replaced by number 15, Zach Spiteri.
Yeah, Zach Spiteri had a good performance on the weekend. Made the NPL Victoria Team of the Week, the youngster, so not bad for the 19-year-old fullback who made the Team of the Week, along with the man that he just replaced, Max Mikola. And here's the chance for St Albans with the set-piece opportunity. As we said, everyone back for South Melbourne in their own penalty area, so plenty of blue shirts back, and it comes in towards the near-post area. It's punched away by Harvey Lopez, and well, that corner kick had the breeze behind it. It was a little bit awkward, perhaps, and you think on another set of circumstances when there wasn't so many autumn leaves blowing around, that Harvey Lopez might have come out and claimed that one in the palms.
Swerving ball always hard for the goalkeeper, and again, and he's got another good punch on it. And as far as edge of the box there, trying to get that ball in.
Good first involvement from Zach Spiteri there.
Yep.
Putting the pressure on his opponent, which was Joey Monek. But St Albans will get the throw, so...
Monek needs to get into this game. He's been a little quiet.
I think he's got so used to playing at left back. When he started the match as a left midfielder, he'd forgotten how to play further up the park, perhaps. But here he goes, taking the throw here. Scotty Backhaw in possession. This is Solverain switching the play to Michael Gergic, who weighed in with a captain's goal on the weekend. St Albans fans would love him to get on the score sheet tonight. Here's King. Shongo on the overlap, was galloping down the touchline, but it just ran out of room on the narrow pitch there as he headed past the finish post of what would be the athletics track if there was the other tenants here tonight. Right where Bruce McAvaney be lining up, calling the finish there as the throw's taken by Lampard. It bounces high, but it's controlled well by Gergic.
Olympic Games start soon.
Not long to go. Very excited for those, Arthur.
Yeah, always good to get into that frame of mind. You watch sports that you normally don't watch for 4 years.
So you're watching random sports like they're going out of fashion, as well as the sports that we love and actually know what we're talking about. But yeah, we'll definitely become experts on the synchronised diving as well during that couple of weeks. During that couple of weeks, as the ball's played into the box, and it's saved again by Lopez from Maury. Well, Nicholas Maury, his name would have been up in lights there. A youngster from country Victoria, and Harvey Lopez, that full stretch to keep him away from getting his name on the score sheet. Another corner and another bright moment for St Albans in their second half. It's been a long time between drinks, or at least it feels like, since Harvey Lopez saved that 1-on-1 from Scott Backhaw, but that was equally a good opportunity and equally a good a save. Probably a better save again, probably, as the corner is about to be delivered. Comes in towards the 6-yard box. Lopez got a touch, but it's going to come through to Scott Backhaw, and there's pressure from Ross Archibald. He gets the cross in. It's a dangerous one too. And it's repelled by that South Melbourne defence.
And again, that the only thing that maybe was against that shot there was that the ball was hit into the ground and gave Harvey Lopez that bit of a chance to get across his goal a bit quicker to make that great save. So again, how important it is to have a solid goalkeeper in your team, and that at the moment St Albans have had 2 good chances this half, and they can't get past that man, Harvey Lopez. Chance now to go forward again. They're looking a little more threatening.
Yeah, they've had a good 5 minutes here.
Absolutely. South Melbourne have almost stopped, it seems.
Yeah, maybe some of those changes that South Melbourne have made have just unsettled their balance a little bit. But they're still in possession here as they bring the ball forward through Morgan Evans. We hope you're enjoying this fixture wherever you're tuning in, around Victoria or further afield. Steve Curtin alongside Arthur Akratides. James behind the camera tonight for Sportscast Australia. This is the final match before the national round of 32. One of these teams will be in the hat next Wednesday night when the Cup round of 32 was drawn out for the national phase of the competition. Ball played in. And the chance there was for
Pios.
Emil Pios.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
That was a good chance, actually.
Absolutely a chance there. And great ball into the box, too. I don't think he was expecting it, Steve. You know, it's
caught a bit flat-footed, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe just didn't expect it, but was there. And in the end, that's a chance that you'd have to jot down as maybe he should have done better with that one. The youngster. 15 minutes left on the clock of normal time. And really, St Albans have to really throw everything at them now. Pios. Bit of skill there by Pios. He's done well. And he's got a corner. No, he's got a throw in.
That's a good first touch by Emil Pios there.
I'm wondering, have we got another long throw specialist? Is it Morgan? No.
Maybe not. With Nicola being subbed out a short time ago. Ball played further up the field. Big hello to Joel in East Geelong, one of our loyal viewers tuning in tonight, enjoying the action. And we're certainly enjoying the action here as well, because this match has delivered plenty of highlights, plenty of goal mouth action. And it's the solitary goal from Noel Bernado that separates the two sides, as Pios tries to get on the end of this one, but it's a good sliding challenge from Silverain, who's been, he's been excellent for me since he's been shifted from left back to central defence alongside Michael Gergic in the for the last 25 minutes or so.
We've also got a hello from John Vakrinos from Port Melbourne. He says, great call, guys. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. As the ball hangs up here, and Sawyer, well, it bounced a little awkwardly for Bullich. Bullich is
also known as vaccination. And also another great, ex-South Melbourne great, John Canasoulis. Says hello.
Big hello to you.
A man who's won championships here at South Melbourne. Watching the game and gives us a cheerio. A young 17-year-old winning the championship back in '83, I think it was, against Sydney Olympic. Memorable day back then. He was one of the few youngsters that came through the junior system and then went on to obviously play for South Melbourne and play for Heidelberg United as well, being very successful there. And Sunshine George Cross. And now he's a coach of Chisholm United, team that is in the second division state league. Pios gets a throw in, and looks like he's limping a little bit there, but hopefully he'll be okay.
So inside the last 10 minutes of regular time, so it's not quite now or never time for St Albans, but it's getting close. I was at a game recently where we saw Marco Bulic go up for a corner kick in the final minute against Port Melbourne, only for Port Melbourne to race down the other end and score a goal through Andrew Messaruni to double their lead on the night. But certainly in the cup competition, well, goal difference is not relevant, so we might see the absolute kitchen sink get thrown at this South Melbourne defence in the next 10 minutes or so, if the scoreline does remain just the 1-0. But here's Harrison Sawyer trying to change that. He's forced back by a couple of yellow shirts, and it's a good bit of defending from Max King, who tries to get the ball forward.
Some good work there, winning that ball.
There's plenty of verbal going on out there at the moment between both sets of players. There's so much at stake here.
Bernado doing well there. Morgan Evans. Ball into the box. Sawyer. Offside flag is up pretty quickly. And
exquisite
no
ball over the top by Barcia, though.
Barcia's trying to find a way through, and just maybe didn't time his run a little bit too late there. As Gregic trying to play out quickly. You could see the desperation now. And any mistake here will go punished, I'll tell you what. And good work now by Monac. He's trying to find a way, but not being allowed to go forward. Quick ball across. Jacob Severian. Surely the referee has allowed play on. I thought that was a free kick earlier. And a chance now.
This could be costly for St Albans. Gergic has gone to ground in back play. He gets himself back up because Sawyer was about to swing in the cross, but it was well blocked again by Jacob Sorferain.
The referee is trying to explain.
Carter Ramsey thought he'd been fouled for all money there in the centre of the park.
And in all fairness to the referee, he's let a lot of those go today, so
always very consistent.
Yep.
Is Poya Gadirian.
I think he's had a pretty good job in the middle there with his side kicks.
He's had a decent game. We might be able to put him in for the votes. Well, if we recorded votes for the cup games, we only do, of course, record votes for the league fixtures, which is always something we agonise over after the games.
They're not being allowed to play that ball out of the back. I'll tell you what, they're finding it very hard to get through this press from South Melbourne.
Yeah, South have definitely clicked it up a gear after that slow 5 or 10 minutes where they conceded a couple of chances, including that really good chance to Nicholas Maury. And, well, they've certainly got the ascendancy again in the general play as Monac tries to find a way through. And now Max King, as the breeze picks up, it might be Well, it's swirling around, but it might even be favouring the left of screen here, which is the end that St Albans are attacking, the lake end. And it's an icy night here as well, mind you, as Shongo controls the ball over on the far side. St Albans just trying to find a way through this well-organised defence. This is Maury, the tall figure. Razumich has floated inboard, and Shongo looks to supply the cross. And it's a good bit of defending by Spiteri, the substitute, who did really well, won the ball back, and nice work from Sawyer as well to put it out in front of Emi Pios, who gives chase. It's a good bit of backtracking by Monek to feed it back to Bullich. And here's Joey Monek, who's, well, he probably wanted to be looking to play that forward quickly, but they're going to switch the play here nonetheless than Albans.
It's desperate times now. 5 minutes left of normal time, and I'd say there'd have to be about 3 to 4 minutes of extra time. Maybe even longer because of the substitutions involved.
Well, South will be hoping that there's not too much time, and the South fans that have gathered here, but it will certainly be box office entertainment if it's still 1-0 and we get a good 5 or 6 minutes added here as Cabrera trying to feed it to Carter Ramsey. And Monek, can he get the cross into the box? Oh, it's well away again, that time by Yankovic. Trying his luck from distance was Bakor, but it's well off target again, and an ambitious one.
Yeah, no doubt not causing Harvey Lopez any issues there. He's probably going to just take his time now and try and... The wind's swirling big time here. It's 1 minute it's going to the right of screen, and then it's swirling to the left of screen. It's really...
It's definitely picking up as time goes on this evening. There you go, the wind has actually just closed my display book there. It's definitely picking up as Shongo gets on the end of this ball. It's been an exciting cup run for South Melbourne that looks to continue. If the scoreline stays like it is, a 2-0 win against the Melbourne Knights, a 4-3 win against the Eastern Lions, and then that 5-2 win against the Preston Lions at BT Connor Reserve in front of just under 6,500 people. A little bit less here tonight.
What a great day that was for football.
It's fantastic. And
great to see Preston.
Be there. Great atmosphere.
Great atmosphere, and it always was. Even back in my days, it was great. Great little crowd between both sides, and good to see there was no trouble, and it was positive all the way round. And a chance now, South Melbourne. Pios doing really well, winning the ball. Can they punish him now? Twisting and turning. Sawyer. Surely! Good save. Guich down to his right. And as I was saying, Steve, they messing around with the ball too much. They're going to get punished.
I still don't know how Bernado hasn't scored a couple of goals tonight. That was him on the end of that. He's pulled the trigger no less than, I think, 5 times on goal tonight. We've got a couple of South Melbourne players down. Ross Archibald, who's covered a fair bit of turf tonight. That might be him done. It looks like it is. He's going to be told by Puigderian to exit the field on this near side, our broadcast side. He's going to be replaced by the number 19, Cooper Halfpenny, the 22-year-old who's been in the matchday squad 15 times this season for the NPL side.
South Melbourne coming off number 21, Ross Archibald, being replaced by number 17, Cooper Halfpenny.
Cooper Halfpenny, happy man, playing 5 or 6 minutes in a important cup fixture. The youngster.
Down the line by Razumich is Scott Bakor. Pressure from Barcia. Bakor assessing his options, and Shongo is the best of them as he tries to pick his pass. Oh, and it was a good bit of defending from the front again. Noel Bernado there making the interception, but it's broken for St Albans again here, and this is good play. Down the far side, Bakor floats in the cross. It's over everybody. Monek tries his luck. It's across the face of the goal. It just needed a touch from Nicholas Maury. it evaded him, and he puts his head in his hands and he wonders if he could have maybe got something on that.
I'll tell you what, that was very, very dangerous. And like you said, Steve, that anyone ahead or even a stray foot from a defender could have gone the opposite way and made us sit here for another 30 minutes of extra time.
Well, it's not getting any warmer here,
Oh,
so
no, it's not. Now I'd have to
go home.
I'd have to say the chilly weather has set in.
We'll just reach for our FV issue commentator's thermometer. The digital version tonight, 11 degrees, but it feels like 9. So certainly winter wool is required here, and a lot of people are inside the social rooms lining up for some.
And as I said before, the referee's allowed play to go on for both sides.
Well, no option there for Yankovic, but Marshall it was, just a knock it into touch.
And we're playing time added for stoppages now. I'm having a look, and it looks like 4. Like I said,
4.
It's quite surprising.
Thought it might have been a tad more than that, so we are into that 4 minutes now. Internet coverage not as good as we thought it was on the far side of Lakeside Stadium, despite us being at the closest NPL Victoria venue to the city centre of Melbourne.
I tell you what, Steve, just remember as a kid coming to watch South Melbourne play here in football. We used to run down the dressing rooms there where that grandstand is and go and get the, back in those days it was the Lucasade from, and drink as much as we wanted back in the day. Try to do that in this day and age.
No, it's not going to happen in the harsh professional world of modern day football, but we will forego the Sharon violation there, Arthur, because that is a fantastic old grandstand, and it's great that it's been restored and used these days by the Victorian Institute of Sport, and a lot of athletes training in there in heat chambers leading into the Paris Olympics, which we touched on before. But at the moment, we're certainly in anything but a heat chamber here at Lakeside Stadium on an 11-degree June evening with South Melbourne. They're almost there, back to that national stage for the first time since 2021. St Albans are going to have to wait a bit longer, you fancy. The pressure here on Bullich. Well, he might have been fouled perhaps, and he just does enough to milk the free kick, and a smart bit of goalkeeping in the end, Arthur, by Bullich.
No, he did well there, the youngster. Got to take my hat off to him. He's had a pretty good game. Chance now. Really have to throw everything at them. There can't be too much longer to go. Better to try and get an equaliser than worry about conceding another goal. And a chance now. Pios. And good defensive work there by Monek.
So light rain starts to fall here. It's less than 2 minutes to go until it's job done for South Melbourne, and they're going to be in no hurry to take this throw in, as there's 2 ball boys here who are taking their time returning the ball to Morgan Evans, who's had a solid game at right back. Just gets the job done. Minimal fuss. Morgan Evans sends the throw down the line. Sawyer's the target. Takes it down on the chest. Over the top by Barcia. Into the hands of Bullich, and he's going to have to try and get this ball up the touchline quickly. The wind is abated for a moment, and Bullich sends this one over to that far side. Carter Ramsey was the target. There's a good defensive header by Yankovic. But here's the chance for St Albans. The cross is blocked. Alan Hare is trying to swing the ball in. Shongo's going to take the throw. The ball getting slippery now as the rain starts to come down. Ramsey, well, with a full head of steam was Scott Backor, and he gets a shot on target, but not a meaningful one to say the least. And that's easy for Harvey Lopez to take some more time off the clock here.
You'd have to say that could be the last roll of the dice.
Well, he's worked hard tonight, Scott Backor, but he just couldn't get enough on that shot to trouble
Pios.
Keeper.
And should have done better with that. He had the big man there all alone, and in the end couldn't get the ball to him. Sawyer looks a bit tired at the moment in my eyes too.
Well, this is last roll of the dice here, but it's South Melbourne making the clearance, and that might be the full-time whistle for Puyaneri, and then South Melbourne are back in the national stage of the Australia Cup for the first time since 2021. They will be in the hat next week. St Albans, that chance to go back down the historical front of 10 years ago, 2014, the first ever FFA Cup as it was then, when they made it to the round of 16 and hosted Perth Glory at Knight Stadium after beating Parramatta up at Melita Stadium. Well, we'll have to wait longer for repeats of those heroics, but they've put in a good showing of themselves tonight, Arthur, St Albans. But to the victors go the spoils, and South Melbourne, well-deserved spot in the national round of 32. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I'll take my congratulations to St Albans. They did toil away with the league leaders all day and made it very, very hard for them. And as you said earlier, they had the better chances ultimately, but that one chance that got put away by South Melbourne is the difference between both sides. And as we said, cup football always is completely different kettle of fish. But a great game, and I hope you viewers enjoyed the game as much as we did today. And no doubt we're seeing the total shots here, 10 on target by South and 5 by St Albans. But I'd have to say St Albans had probably the better chance to score.
I think any game where you can come and know that you're going to see 15 attempts on target during the match, like, fans are getting good value for money, and who wouldn't want to come along and watch exciting matches like this? Despite it being the top versus the bottom of the NPL Victoria competition, you wouldn't know it, and these teams have put in a really good showing of themselves. And there's some full-time scores around the grounds. Hume City 4-0 over Caroline Springs George Cross. They will join South Melbourne in the hat next Wednesday night for a spot to see who they come up against in the national round of 32. Heidelberg United, of course, they're already there as well after beating the Bentley Greens 6-0 last night. And that other match, is that a full-time score? It is a full-time score. Melbourne, Serbia. That is an unexpected result. They will find themselves in the national round of 32, and perhaps they're going to be hosting maybe even an A-League team here in Melbourne at their home ground. We will wait to see. That's exciting to see a team, and well done to them as well. Brisbane City 3-2 over Eastern Suburbs up in Queensland. Newcastle Olympic going down 1-0 to the Edgeworth Eagles in northern New South Wales, and also in northern New South Wales, Lambton Jaffers have got themselves a spot as well, edging out Broadmeadow Magic. And over in WA, it's 0-0 at the moment between Sorrento and Red Star. Olympic Kingsway have got themselves a spot in the competition as well, getting over Perth 2-1. And Campbelltown City over in Adelaide 1-0 over the Adelaide Comets. Also Moreton City Excelsior leading 2-0 against the Gold Coast United. Those last three scores are progress scores, Arthur. But I can't wait to see who South Melbourne draws in the Australia Cup national round of 32 next week. How exciting.
I wouldn't mind a tussle, something like a South Melbourne and Heidelberg. And, you know, I know we're going to go and we're going to see them on Sunday. We'll be there on Sunday for all you out there, which is going to be a great clash as it is. I think it's going to be one of the clashes of the season. But in a cup setup, it's even more special.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully we get all the Victorian sides, including the Victorian A-League sides as well, into the competition. West United obviously have to come through a playoff in Darwin. Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City will be straight into the hat too. So very exciting to see. Look, hopefully we get a full complement of games, all drawn home teams in Victoria, and we can get everyone out and enjoy the football in person. But everyone's headed home here, Arthur, so I guess it's time to sign off. From me, Stephen Curtin, alongside me, Arthur Akratides. It's been a pleasure working with you tonight, as always. And James behind the camera, you've been fantastic again tonight in the cold conditions, 11 degrees here at Lakeside Stadium. Thank you for your great work as well. And thank you, the viewer at home. We hope you've enjoyed this one at Lakeside Stadium, courtesy of Noel Bernado. It's South Melbourne into the national round of 32 at full time at Lakeside. South Melbourne 1, St Albans 0. Good evening from Arthur Akratides and Steve Curtin.